Well, it's a movie about a guy getting out of prison and about how he has to fulfill a series of community obligations once he's out. And it's meant to sort of be more comedic in tone than a lot of these movies are not comedies. Sex offender tends to be a very charged, heavy subject, so we wanted to make one that was a little bit what do I want to say, accessible, or that wasn't as heavy. Kristen plays his girlfriend, and he has a counselor. Kevin plays his counselor. And then he has all these other obligations, community service. He's got to see a one-on-one therapist, or so he thinks. He's got to get a job. And what else does he have to do? He's got to go door to door and tell his neighbors he's a sex offender. And he's also on probation for 10 years. So it's just a look at what it would be like if you had to do all that stuff.
What's interesting about the main character, we call him RSO, is that he has to go, like Bob said, through all these, he has all these obligations, and people keep telling him that he needs to change his attitude, that they need to see him progress, and I guess the punchline is that he just doesn't change. He just continues to be himself. He doesn't kind of see anything outside of what he wants to do and how he wants to act, and I guess it eventually takes him kind of getting sick of that type of behavior and to really find his place and be himself, but find his place kind of in the world peacefully.
The fluidity that comes with working with 4 disparate elements, which is scripted, unscripted, actor, non-actor. If you blend these 4, you get an energy that's not, it's not specifically doc energy, and it's not specifically narrative feature energy. It's a swirl, and I feel like that's something we learned how to do. Like, we learned a lot about how to do that on this one, and we're going to apply that to the next one. Because I love the energy that springs out of that. It feels more alive to me than one or the other. So it's the 4, and so putting him in a room with non-actors, he loved it. I mean, he loved the energy. We were shooting one day, we had a lot of energy in the room, and we came back the next day, and I was trying to get someone's, like, just getting one line from them, and I just had him and them in the room, and he suggested, well, why don't you bring all those other guys back in? If you do that, then you're going to get what you're looking for. It hadn't even occurred to me, and he was absolutely right. And when we did that, then we started to get the energy again. So that's definitely something we learned on this.
It's a comedy, a sex comedy, but it's not a Will Ferrell type of comedy, sex comedy at all. I think it's a very serious film, personally.
Kevin is very demanding as an actor, and he came in fairly early, and he made us, like, he raised the bar for us. And I think working with him, also with these non-actors, I started to see how that could work. But he was, like, very giving and very patient about that. Some actors would come in and have very limited patience with working with non-actors. And Kevin was mostly interested in them and wanted to listen to them, and that helped a lot.
The dialogue between the brother, Kristen's brother and Gabe's brother, where they're saying, do you think it's weird that your brother is a sex offender? And that's the question that the movie asks, you know, is it weird or isn't it? And or is it just weird how the things that we have to do now because we've been labeled as these things? And so that, and the other thing about the movie is just the process that by which it was, you know, made reminded me completely of all the actor studio stuff that I grew up with, you know, and that's kind of second nature to me, or at least as far as my expectations of, like, what acting and directing and filmmaking is supposed to be like he's doing it, you know. The actor studio's still over there on 44th Street in the west side of Manhattan, and people are still doing stuff there. It's kind of, but it exists in this film too. I mean, I can't believe how these guys have been working on this film for 2 years or something. I don't know, long time.
We can't believe it either.
It's remarkable. Shouldn't you take all that off? I don't know.
Does it look stupid?